here
It's
today,
me.
y'all.
It's me, PEZ FLIPS.
Yo,
I'm
all right.
I'll say it publicly since we're live. I do want to thank you again for inviting me on here, and yeah, just I think it'll be a fun time.
Again, like I said a bit ago, I'm the one that is honored to have you on here. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I've not watched a crazy amount of your videos, but I have heard so much about you, and from the little bit that I have watched, I love your content. It is honestly amazing.
Thank you, man. I don't know. I one day I decided I just wanted to start making videos, and I guess it just kind of took off from there. But I think it's cool that honestly, like I know people have talked about live streams and stuff. I've just never really messed with it myself. So it's like I said, this will be my first live stream that I've ever done with like balisongs. So
Ooh, that's sick, honestly. I've had lately I've been doing more collab streams lately. Reaching out to about every Bali YouTuber you can think of. I've probably reached out to. But I ghost flipping inspired me to do live streams. So I started live streaming this year. Been live streaming almost every day for a few months now. I took a little break here and there. And then lately I've been doing collab streams. So the past few days I did a collab with Spark Flips. I did a collab with Youngblood Flips, and now you, which is absolutely amazing.
wow, streaming every day, man. That's a serious commitment.
Yeah. I wouldn't say every day. I try to stream every day though. It's random times. I don't have like a lined up schedule really.
Yeah, it's like a goal of yours.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, CB Flips? Good to have you in here. What's up, Roberto? What's up, Silas? What's up, Spark? So Silas and Spark are some of my most loyal mods in stream right now.
Awesome. I It's a little weird, like reading chat at the same time. I'm not super great at it, so if I miss one of you guys saying something, I apologize. But I do appreciate the compliments. I'm seeing some people already saying some stuff, so thank you, CB. Hi, Robert. Let's see, and hi, Sparks, and thank you, Sparks.
Man, you're going great at this. There's something that I just have realized lately about you is I love your enthusiasm. In my opinion, a lot of balisong YouTubers lack enthusiasm in their videos. They're kind of just like, "Yo, I got this new balisong trainer," and they missing that energy and enthusiasm. And you obviously have that, which is a big perk for your
I'm not
channel.
gonna lie, like I've said this on my channel. I work at a school and I feel like I work with like people generally like middle school and below. So I am not calling my
Ooh.
audience middle schoolers, but I'm just saying that energy is required at work. So it's like I've been trained to have the enthusiasm. You know, I'm paid to be enthusiastic, I suppose.
That is awesome. I love enthusiastic and hype people, dude. That's sick. All right. 24 Scott said Pez is amazing. Love his content. He's a solid guy so far, as I can tell. Responds to people and let me keep a link to one of my videos in the chat. It really helps my channel. Ooh, all right. Silas says, guys, I don't think Sammy remembers me. Silas, of course I remember you. Don't start playing stupid, bro. Come on. All right. Crazy Kid said, you guys are my favorite YouTubers. Well, thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I
So,
see that
Pez,
you. Okay, you go
sorry, my
first. You
bad.
go
No,
first.
no,
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 no, no.
my bad. All right. I wanted to you have flipped so many more battle songs than I have. You have had so many more opportunities than I have. So this stream with you is something I've been looking forward to and getting your opinions on lots of different battle songs and different topics in the community.
Okay. I'm interested to see these questions.
All right. First of all, Spark said, "Yo, Pez, you should make a tutorial on the main tricks you do." I would honestly love to see that because your flipping style is so freaking unique and techy, and I love it.
It's interesting because, like, I don't know. I've made a video talking about developing style, but you know, I think everyone when they look at their own style, you're so used to your own tricks that it doesn't feel um as special. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're so used to your own tricks, so it's like when people say like my usual tricks, I don't know, like I mean, I have some habit things. I used to do this thing. I've been a little slacking on it called like my bread and butter combos, and I've made like a couple more. But yeah, I should make some more tutorials. The one I want to do, which is just a trick, is that one, the Oxy fan, which is
Ooh.
like supposed to be the Oximity fan. I personally draw most of my inspiration from Oxivity because they're just so cracked. And
That's
they have like they're
awesome,
very
man.
innovative. So I should also shout out Threat Night because they've messaged me on Discord a couple of times, and like the creation of like this tabletop thing. That one is because of Threat Night because they were mentioning like they create a lot of tricks, and I think they're very active on like Ethan's Discord, but they seem like a pioneer for a lot of new tricks as well, and I feel like in my opinion, the people who create new tricks are kind of like the lifeblood of the hobby because for me at least, I'm like the tricks are the things that are interesting to me, and I don't know. I've like made some myself, but mostly I'm just copying other people to be honest.
That is sick. There's been I know a few people, including myself every now and then, that have created tricks that I think sick. One of my really good friends, Trenton Bailey, he's probably one of the smallest ballet YouTubers out there. He just like posts. He's one of those guys that posts just flipping clips, but his style is, in my opinion, it is so freaking smooth. It's like a mix between Banks and Mystic, and it's honestly insane. He has like this fan that he does between his fingers after a pinky chaplain that looks so smooth. I've never seen anybody else do it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I feel like people will ask like how do you develop your style? And I feel like honestly, if you see a trick, like, I've watched a bunch of people's clips, right? And you'll see a clip and there's always like one move that really stands out to you and you're like, "Holy cow, like how did they do that?" When I get that feeling, that's when I decide that I like want to try to learn that trick. And like, I've just it's just like I'm a collector of the things that have made me have that reaction. So I think like when people are like wondering, like developing their style, it's really just answering that question of like, what do you think looks cool? And then like you'll be happy with your style. Like honestly, I don't know. You have like your clips recorded and posted and stuff, and this is a question for you. Do you find yourself like going back and looking at your older clips and like comparing them to your newer ones?
Oh, 100%. That is something that I do all the time, maybe too much, honestly. I entirely agree with you about like just finding the trick that you want to learn and learning it. That is one of the key things as far as advancing your flipping. So for me right now, the trick that I have been trying to learn and still cannot get down, I've been trying to grind it the past few days, is the backhand fan. Still cannot figure it out.
Yeah, the backhand fan is kind of tricky. I feel like people who do it like this, where it's like fully down in front of the camera, is
Yep.
something that I think looks better than when you're holding it like face downwards. I think face downwards is a lot easier, but in terms of like what a viewer sees on the camera, I don't think it looks as visually appealing as like the full backhand fan, like that. You also
Yep.
see them like combo with like the choker fan, and then they get into it, and like I just haven't taken the time to really get that one, but no, I agree with
All
you. The
right.
backhand fan is underrated. Hot take.
Here's a really good question I have for you because I find myself doing this all the time. There's sometimes when you're good at flipping, and there's sometimes when you're not. And the biggest thing that I think impacts that is grip. There's sometimes when my hands are really grippy, and then I can pick up a balisong and do about any trick that I want to. And then there's other times, for example, like right now, when let's say when you're done washing your hands, you dry off your hands. Your hands are really dry, and so they get really slippery to where you're not able to grasp and grip the balisong correctly. Does that ever happen with you? And then it just slides around.
Well, okay, I have a question first. You have titanium balisongs, right?
I have a Superfly. That is my only titanium balisong.
Okay, do you have G10?
I do not,
So
unfortunately.
that's where if you're a hand washer, G10 is really nice on the hands because even if your hands do get dry, like usually these are like soft enough to where like it can kind of like take it like you're not impacted in terms of grip. I know some people don't like the chalkiness of G10, but if you like, I've heard that people they'll oil the G10 to make it softer, and I am a big G10 guy. I think that it offers a lot of grip and like exactly solves that problem of it not feeling grippy.
I've been trying to look into a G10 balisong. I don't personally have one in my collection, but like I said, the Trenton Bailey guy, we often, because we've been such good friends for a while and we know each other in real life, we often do balisong trades. So I have gotten the opportunity to flip a G10 balisong because of him. He owns a an Arm Shark Nautilus that I have been really enjoying. Other
Mm.
than that, though, I have not had much experience with G10 balisongs, and it's something that I hope to get more experience with in the future.
Yeah, I remember when I first got started with balisongs, one of my objectives was to try as many different construction types and material types of balisongs as possible to kind of round out my experience so that I was like more attuned to what I personally like because there is variance to that. And grip, I feel like, is such a wishy-washy topic because your climate impacts a lot like how things are grippy. Like if you're in a humid place, man, like it's like you have too much grip to the point where like maybe an aluminum balisong is actually better in that situation. Because like this squid trainer, for example, it's probably one of the slipperiest balisongs that I own. But like if I was in a humid place, I might value that level of lack of grip actually because the other balisongs might be too grippy, which you know I don't really get to that like that super grippiness doesn't happen too often for me, but I can respect people uh, who flip
Hmm.
aluminum.
Yeah. Most of my balisongs are aluminum. I have a good variety. So I have some 70-75, some 60-61. And the Impulse was actually my first aluminum balisong that was neither. I think it's 60-63, surprisingly.
Mm.
Something that I find is different finishes have such an impact on grip. So my Kraken V3, I expected the on this thing to be amazing. That's the main reason that I bought it. I was really, really let down by this thing because though the texture is really nice on it, uh, it has a matte finish, and apparently, to me, matte finishes are like crazy slippery. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've flipped many a Kraken clone. I have like my true beater, the one that's been with me the longest. This guy, I mean, I don't know. It's not like it's basically a false edge. I don't know where we're standing, so I'm not going to open it. But um, this one is like the glossy finish. It's the Bali Plus glossy finish speed channel handles, and the
Oh,
glossy is a lot more grippy than like the matte finish. But um, when
I
I
would,
flipped
yeah.
when I flipped the Kraken V3, like the authentic one, I found that the texturing, while it was there, it wasn't as significant as the Bali Plus texturing. It's actually a little bit deeper on the Bali Plus, which, in my opinion, like you're saying, it provides a lot more grip in the hand. So, like, I agree that the finish is very significant, but also, even within Squid, it feels like their Krakens kind of vary from model to model.
I would entirely agree. So the reason that this was such a letdown for me is because I was really used to flipping the Bally Plus Tainto Kraken False Life. That's another Ball song that I do trades with a lot. You'll see it a lot on my channel. It has like the dark blue handles with the inked Tainto. It has amazing grip, and that's the main reason that I think I was so let down to my authentic Kraken V3 is because, the clone just provided so much more grip than the actual, authentic thing.
Yeah, it begs an interesting question on whether or not clones fulfill certain uh weaknesses that the actual one doesn't have. I can't think off the top of my head exactly like those things, but there are examples of clones kind of doing things better. Oh, okay, I have a good one. The titanium Crackerakin, for example, that one, when I bought an authentic when it released, and there was an issue with the handle parallelism. Basically, the pins that they use, the aluminum pins in the bottom, they were
Mhm.
actually slightly undersized relative to the size of the blade. So what would happen is the bottom was actually slightly thinner than at the top, which would result in kind of an impossible to tune knife. Like you would never be able to get a super tight tune. Now you could get the tsunami weights or whatever, and they worked the same, I believe. But that's like an aftermarket thing that you had to purchase. But then they had other companies such as like when Arm Shark released their clone of it, and they used titanium weights off the rip, which gave it a better balance, and they were appropriately sized, so you didn't actually have to change them. So it's an interesting situation where it's like I value the original makers for designing the product in the first place, but it feels like sometimes the rollout to create fixes for the design are a little bit slower than what should be needed. I mean, I don't know how many, like how the production actually works. I imagine they make a bunch of titanium cracker rackets, for example, and then they just sell them in different drops or whatever. But I don't know if that issue has even been resolved with the titanium krakens at this point.
Hmm. I would entirely agree. I think the authentic maker deserves respect entirely for creating the design, but nowadays, honestly, clones just have better quality flipping. As far as grip and smooth flips go, I feel like if you want something that for durability wise, the authentic maker is probably going to be better. So like an actual squid kraken is going to be more durable, but the clones are going to be a lot better flipping wise.
Yeah, I think it depends on the maker. I think that one of the things that authentic brands will offer is better quality control. And I think ultimately where that you feel it the most is if you are really trying to dial in a tune. Authentic, generally, there are exceptions, but generally, with an authentic balisong, you can get a much tighter tune because there is more attention to detail to like the evenness of the blade or the evenness of the handles, and those things kind of sometimes it's kind of luck of the draw can get overlooked with clones, and then like you don't really realize that. But like if you're gonna use like a balisong as like a beater, I honestly think that clones kind of offer a better value because you don't care if it gets beat up because it's not as expensive. And then also, like, it doesn't matter if there is slight inconsistencies with the finishing and stuff because you're going to be beating it anyway. So the tolerances are never going to be truly perfect. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I think we should start reading some of the chat though. People have
true,
been
true.
begging for questions. All right. So let's see. Jed Music Nerd has been begging. He says, what kind of ballad song do you recommend? I'm making a Christmas list and I don't know which kind is the best. I'd like to start flipping. So I'm curious some of your thoughts on this, Pez. For me, I think it depends on the budget for
Yeah.
what company to recommend. So like under $100, I think it's Nabalis all the way.
Hmm.
Or clones.
Well, I don't know. Okay, probably clones. Honestly, if you are looking for the most like consumer value, a clone is going to give you a lot more. Honestly don't think you need to flip a titanium knife as your first knife. Um, I think like aluminum is just fine, but like a super cheap Kraken clone, like um, what is it? I don't know. Blue River is a little controversial because they have like cloned even like the serial tags of like the Namis, but I know that Blue River is generally considered a good Kraken clone. I have a Cold Blade Kraken, which is actually pretty darn good. And that one's so cheap, but it flips like almost identical to the authentic at like a quarter of the price. So I'd probably say like that would be my recommendation. Um, and also, it's like if you're gonna get a trainer or like a live blade, because I do believe that live blades generally flip better, false edges included, just because there's you don't have all the cutouts in the blade.
Yes,
Um,
100%.
I think trainers can flip good, but sometimes like a good knife, uh, live flips really good, and then they make the trainer blade for it, and then the trainer kind of flips like poo poo. So
Yeah.
like personally, I think that the Kraken trainer blade really sucks when you flip it.
Really? I've
I don't
never.
like it.
Hmm. That's an interesting thought. I think. How do you feel about Zippy mods? I feel like Zippy makes a huge difference when it comes to trainers.
I've been buying Zippy mods like forever. Actually, like one of the first knives that I got, the one that I'm flipping at the beginning, my brother bought this for me when I first got in the hobby, the squid trainer, and I actually had gotten the zippy inserts for the silencers to add extra weight, which is ironic because it doesn't actually need that. But being young and watching other people talk about the knife, they said, "Oh, this is really valuable." But like that was my first introduction to zippy inserts. But I've used zippy stuff all the time. I actually just bought zippy spacers for my titanium wraith, so those
Ooh,
are
nice.
eventually gonna get here, and I'll give those a go and see how I feel about them.
Cool. Zippy actually. I still need to get my review out on them. I have. I need to start filming some more vids. me a crazy amount of mods and stuff. I only have a few critiques when it comes to Zippy mods. Overall, I think it's a really cool thing and a really cool idea to have aftermarket cosmetics. But in my opinion, there's only a few critiques that I have. So, for example, the end caps on the Kraken, they are squared, so they do not fit every balisong. For example, the impulse, they fall right off the impulse. You basically have to have a squared thick balisong for it to work. So the end caps only fit tightly for me on my Kraken or on my cheese, and they barely fit on my wing. Otherwise, they do not fit on any of my other balisongs.
Well, do you find
So
that the
I
end
think
caps are actually good though? I feel like they kind of look okay. Hot take. I feel like they're kind of ugly looking.
I could see how they're ugly. I think they make a difference flipping though. So like
Little
if you
extra end
have it
weight.
to where it's on if it's loose on a balisong, it's gonna suck. But if you have it for like let's say on my Kraken here, I find the zippy mods, especially the end caps, are really, really grippy and make a huge difference when it comes to things like choker fans.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I do think that end weight is something that I've overlooked in the past, and I can see how like the end caps could offer just a little bit. I know that some people sometimes use like those bite handle indicators, and like for
Yes.
plastic balisongs, for example, I think that has like a huge influence because of how light they are. I remember one time I tried with the Frank to put a bite handle indicator on both handles, and it's just really weird. But like they do offer pretty good grip. I feel like it'd be interesting if like somebody made a balisong where they purposely had like a sort of indentation to where you could like slot in the bite handle indicators for like a different sort of material grip at the end. But I don't
That would
know.
be sick.
I
Hmm.
digress. Okay, if anyone was asking about other balisongs, I do believe that the Orion 1.5 is a really good budget flipper. Both live and the trainer are super solid. I'm a big LDY fan, so that'd be my other authentic recommendation. I just haven't flipped a lot into Balas um,
For
recently,
me,
to be
it's
honest.
kind of the opposite. Like, I've heard so many good things about LDY, and I've been really interested in getting an LDY ballad song, but I've never had the chance to flip an LDY bally before.
Oh snap! Yeah, I like. Let's see. I think like I've tried. I have the Vega. I have the aluminum Cygnus. I've tried two different Cygnus clones. I owned an Orion, and I have another Orion now. And I had a Vixen V2. I think that might be everything. I've tried a lot of LDY stuff. Oh, I have the Frank too. I think that their balances generally there's like a certain like balance, like a weight distribution ethos that certain companies have. I feel like Squid leans more handle biased, and LDY is a little bit more on the neutral side, which is why I personally have a preference of LDY more, just because I'm a more neutral enjoyer.
Hmm. All right. I think we should read off some chat, and then I have a few questions about different like ballad song makers and community type stuff.
Okay.
All right. Someone said, "What is the best trainer for modding?" I personally have never done any modding, but I've heard that a lot of people really, really enjoy modding the Superfly.
You know, that kind of makes sense. It's like the handles have a lot of like it has a lot of geometry. So like when you're doing like
Hmm.
fade anos and stuff like that, you can like do a base ano, sand it off, and then do a re-ano to do a lot of stuff. Obviously, like with modding too, you can stain wash stuff. If you're wanting to mod yourself, I feel like probably getting some cheap titanium clone would be like the best because if you mess up, you're not down a bunch of money, but to each their own. I mean, I guess like all anos are somewhat reversible, but every time you like rip off an ano, you're like kind of messing with the tolerance a little bit. So I don't know. It depends on if you want to send it in to have someone do work on it, or if you're doing it for yourself. I feel like those are two different answers.
Hmm. Oh, somebody's trying to spread the gospel here in the chat. I have a question. Are you personally are you Christian?
My mom is Christian. I'm not like very religious in general, but I don't
Mm.
really. I don't know.
I am very much Christian. If you I want to just give you a warning. I'm basically the Nick A30 of balisong flipping. So all my streams I try to make pretty family friendly, and I love, love, love spreading the truth of Jesus. and the gospel on my streams. So I'm very much Christian, and most of my streams consist of people asking me about different battle songs, and then also asking me about different biblical topics. I love debating people about biblical and sometimes political topics. It's a really fun thing for me.
I think for my personal stream comfort, I'm just gonna stay away from religion
Yeah,
and politics, just because I
I
think
get that. Yeah,
the content niche that I fulfill is just
battle
something that
songs.
doesn't have to be entwined with, you know,
Yes, yeah,
all those
I get
sensitive
it. I get it.
topics. Yeah, yeah.
You're all good. Trust me. I understand. All right. Let's see. Yo, what's up, Jax? Jax is finally in here. Crown of Frag said hi. We need a few more. We need some more battle song questions. I feel like there were a lot of battle song questions at first, and we kind of were just yapping away.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I do that all the time. You can ask my viewers. I am an absolute yapper. All right. 24 Scott said yes. LDY is king. Um. Nabalis is a great starter. Yeah. Spark asked how you're liking your Thai Wrath.
The Wraith is really good. It's a little heavier than like what I'd normally flip. I don't know the weight exactly. And then like I feel like the balance honestly with the stock spacers is like pretty darn good. Like I don't really need to touch it, but I'm just curious to see if I switch it for the zippy inserts, if it'll like bring the weight down and still feel still like pretty responsive. I will say the one thing that's a little annoying are the horns. Now the horns on the blade, like I'm not gonna open it up, but I'll show you like these guys. Like if I'm trying to do like a swivel, for example,
Oof.
sometimes they can get in the way. Um, but like for the most part, you don't really notice them. The only other trick that I really feel it in is like I don't know what this one is called, but when you're doing like a rollover, like an index rollover or something like that, but like you're continuously doing it on like I don't even know what this is called. I'm so bad with trick names. Like when you're actually like between the handles and you're not doing a chaplain, but it kind of looks like a chaplain. That one is kind of hard to stay on without because the horns kind of push the knife away from your finger a little bit. Aside from that, I think it's fine, and I think that I have an older version of it where the horns are a little bit more pronounced because I believe with the newer productions of wraiths, titanium wraiths specifically, the horns are a little bit less gnarly.
All right. Somebody said that the Impulse went out of stock on Amazon, or went out of stock on Nabalis, but it might be on Amazon. All right. Uh, Jed Music Nurse said, "Our Squid Industries one's more advanced." I would say that Squid Industries is a really good company for advanced flippers.
Yeah,
What
I
about you?
think that they're very consistent. I actually just traded my Tsunami for somebody else's Tsunami because I didn't really love the DLC handles. But um, I feel like what you get with Squid Industries is predictability. I feel like their balisong designs are very predictable. When you do a trick, you kind of know what to expect. Now, sometimes that predictability is like predictably not super fun to flip. Like I remember I owned a Hydro at one point, and oh my god, I'm a certified Hydro hater. I don't know. It's whatever. Like, but like there are just things where like they are very consistent. You can feel where they're gonna go, and when you develop the experience of a certain trick, you can kind of reliably understand what's going to happen, and that frees up mental space to like prepare for the next trick that you're going to combo into because you're not like waiting to see how the balisong might react to the trick that you're trying to do because it might be varied every time you try to do a fan or whatever. Like really blade bias knives, I think, are kind of unpredictable sometimes. Like my Totori,
Hmm.
I haven't made a video on it yet, but the reason I got rid of the Totori is the same reason that I got rid of the Sasori, and that's because the tip weight is just like way too much, and it makes it um, feel unpredictable. It is hard to. It's fun, but it's like I value predictability in terms of my skill progression.
All right. Let's see here. What's up, Jax? What's up, Jones? We had over 100 people in stream. Y'all feel free to say hi or ask us any questions. It's what I always say to people in here. Just to let you guys know, for all the people that are asking, because I always have people asking this all the time. All the ballot songs that we have here are all ballot song trainers, all right? Which means that these are all perfectly safe, just for flipping purposes, practicing, and having fun with. They're basically the ultimate fidget toy, in my opinion. Let's hear. We got over 150 people in stream. Again, y'all feel free to say hi or ask us any questions. Someone said, "What is your opinion on the canyon?" I love the canyon. Pez and I were actually just discussing that a little bit before we went live.
Yeah, I was saying how I want to try stainless steel balisongs. You know, I think I don't know. I don't think it was stainless steel, but actually, like when I was, I want to say like 13 or 14, I actually had a balisong. It was a Baron Sons balisong, and that thing broke after dropping it like 2 times on hardwood floors. But I think that was probably the heaviest balisong that I've had. That was like a crappy, I don't know what sort of metal, but that's probably the heaviest kind of thing. But yeah, I do want to try stainless steel because it's like one of the only material types that I haven't really experimented with.
Ah, all right. Uh, Me personally, I could tell you from my experience lately, especially with the Canyon, it is a very, very, very good flipper. Whether you are beginner or advanced, Nabalos likes to advertise it as a good beginner ballad song. Uh, I think that's mainly because if you're dropping it a lot, it's really durable because of the fact that it's all stainless steel. But overall, in my opinion, it is just as good of an advanced flipper as it is a the only thing is the jimpings on it look a lot more promising than they actually are. They're not the greatest. They look a lot better than they truly are, for sure. They don't maintain as much grip as you would expect. Other than that, I absolutely love the Canyon, and it is entirely my beater. The only problem is it's not really a good public flipper because I have the false live version.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't find myself flipping live or like flipping in public in general. I don't know. Like I have like the Frank, which is nice like in the car kind of, but like generally if I'm out and about, I don't know. I just okay. I feel like I'm kind of a goober sometimes if I'm flipping outside in public. I feel like people don't understand what I'm doing, so I'm like, I don't know. It's not worth the explanation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people feel that way. For me, I think, especially because of the style of content that I do, my name is the Balisong Traveler because I travel different places. So for me, it is a key thing to have good public flippers, especially for different videos that I want to go and film. So most of the time, uh, I go to like different nature parks, in which case it's not as necessary. But for times whenever I go to, like, for example, I did what I called the playground series that I still have been continuing over so now and then, where I go to different playgrounds. I basically do the craziest crap to get on top of a playground, and then I go crazy flipping and give tutorials and crap for some reason. I don't know why. It's just a fun idea I had. And so when you're doing stuff like that, or like when I went to the city of Flippin in Arkansas, there were other cars passing by and people around. It is pretty key to have a good public flipper, such as like the cheese or the barracuda.
You know, I've heard the cheese is like a really good flipper as well.
It is. It is. I actually just posted a video on it talking about how good the cheese is. It's one of the most underrated ballad songs of all time. It probably has the most grip of almost any ballad song out there because of the Teflon handles. The Teflon is highly underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't tried Teflon, but I have tried ceramic, and I found that ceramic was a little bit more underwhelming than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, I've heard ceramic is not that grippy. Teflon is the way to go though. So I would definitely recommend checking out a cheese sometime in the future. You will not regret it.
Okay, okay.
All
I saw
right.
someone ask, "Am I not flipping while running?" And no, I live on like a place that has a bunch of hills, and man, if I'm trying to finish that hill and I tried to flip, dude, I'd like fall on my face and have a heart attack or something because that hill is my biggest enemy.
Ooh. For me, I don't really flip while running. That seems like it would be pretty hard, but
Yeah,
I like to flip on walks. So like I go on morning walks, or I try to. I need to get back on it. So when I go and walk like down the street, around and back and whatnot, uh do like to flip on walks.
yeah, no, I'm a big walk flipper as well. Like when I go camping or something, I'll often bring one with me too, just because like I don't know, you're out there just kind of chilling. Something nice about like sitting next to a fire or something like that, and just kind of moseying around, fidgeting around. You know.
Mm-hmm. Huh. So I have a question. I think it'd be cool to try and give each other a little tutorial real quick, like on a small combo. So for me, there's a trick that my viewers ask me about all the time. It's a custom trick that I made called the Around the World. All it
Okay.
is a Z choker around to a helix aerial ice pick catch.
So wait, Z
Simple.
choker. Oh, you start from over here, right?
Yeah, Z choker
Yeah.
around helix aerial
Oh,
uh, into a ice pick catch, and I call it the Around the World. Because if you do it smoothly, it looks like you're going around the world. And I totally just fumbled that. What the heck?
you almost blew up your Lego ballad songs.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm actually sending out some Lego. I send out Lego Balisongs every now and then to YouTubers. So I think Benjamin already did a video on the one I sent him. I actually have a. I'm sending this one out to Spark. So I make custom Lego Balisongs for different YouTubers to their color scheme. I'm actually got one ready that I'm sending over to Brandon Balisong Flipping. So
I
I
feel
got
like
it
they'll
all.
enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a really fun thing. It's not the greatest flipper of all time, of course, because it's Lego. But I have like so I've grown up being a Lego collector. So as a Lego collector, I thought it would be cool to incorporate the hobby that I'm now into, balisong flipping, with Legos. And so I've tried about every Lego design you can think of, including a like bad Technic design over here. And this is the best design as far as flipping goes. And most YouTubers that I've sent it to are pretty surprised as to how well it flips. The only issue is most of the time it's pretty handle biased. So I try to, like you see here, how I improved some of the weight, even though it's plastic. I improved some of the weight on the blade to try and make it a bit more neutral and not as blade bias as much as I could. But overall, people enjoy it. It's a pretty fun thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the best part about Lego is its modularity. You really could just put whatever you wanted on it to customize the balance. So in that regard,
Yes.
it is unique. I just hate really big handles. So I feel like that'd be the
Yeah.
biggest hang up.
I understand that one. I hate bulky handles. So like VB Barfly, I love the company. He's a good dude. He's an awesome dude. But oh my goodness, was I unimpressed with the Barracuda. So it's a good flipper, but my preferences go totally against the Barracuda because of how squared off and bulky the handles are.
Yeah, honestly, that's like my biggest concern with the Aeon is that the handles are a little bit on the thicker side. Like almost everything is perfect about that guy. It's just simply the handles that, yeah, they're just very big. And I'm 5'8", kind of a smaller dude. So like me, I have like smaller hands in general, and I just have a hard time with like long balisongs and chunky balisongs. Those are the two things I kind of
Yes.
struggle with.
For me, long ballad songs tend to be all right as long as they're thin. So, like long and thin ballad songs, such as the Canyon or Impulse, I like. The biggest thing is though, I hate squared handles. I like well-rounded handles, so that's why when he sent over the Superfly, it was quite a pleasant surprise that the Superfly was much more rounded than the Barracuda or my Kraken.
Yeah, I
Let's see
let's see. Yeah, let's answer more questions. I'm too bad at that.
here. You're all good. Let's see here. Fallow Hunter said, "What is the blue one called? The blue and white? This would be the Nabalis cheese." I'm curious more into your trainer collection, Pez. You have a pretty unique collection and flipping style.
The reality is that I am constantly trying to get rid of my balisongs. So like I don't have many truthfully I don't have many trainers, but also I'm trying to get rid of like almost all of my knives because I don't like having knives that I don't flip. Um so really the only trainers that you're seeing are the ones like right here. I have the squid trainer, which was a gift from my brother. and then I have the Frank, which was given to me by LDY, which the inserts have fallen out, and I've just never bothered to put them back in because they will not stay in there. And then I have, I think it's Seth Design. They have this. Oh gosh, I don't remember what it's called. And it's also
Yeah, it's salient. Cease to design salient.
a
Pretty sure. Sentient.
sentient.
Yeah, it's sentient. Sentient. I saw Ghost Flipping's video on that. That's what I used for one of my videos. I used a clip from his.
Yeah, I've these were given to me, and I generally try to follow the philosophy that if I'm given something by a company, which not that many that I've been given, but if I've been given it, I feel like I have to save it because it's something special. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of trainers. I mean, I have other ones, but these I'm mostly trying to sell. I'm too lazy to post about it yet because in reality, I
Hmm.
really just want like my Aeon, my Wraith, my Kraken beater clone, and like the trainers that I have here because that's still a good number of them. And I don't know. I have like a balisong stand that holds. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It holds 7 knives, I think. Um,
6, 7 knives.
yes, it holds about 6 or
Balisongs, I
7
mean.
knives. And because of that, like that's like my once I go beyond that, I'm like, okay, I need to start selling the ones that are spilling off of the side.
All right.
I've tried a lot of things, but I've been really into trades recently. I've been trying to trade a lot of my stuff.
Ooh, nice. See, I would totally get into trades. The only issue is there's like none of my balisongs that I'm interested in getting rid of. For one main reason, I try and not buy a balisong unless it's a balisong that I'm super interested in that I know I'm going to want to keep for a long time. So that makes it really hard to trade balisongs. The only balisong that I would be interested in trading that I've considered even trading in the past, in order to get a new balisong, would be my Barracuda. But again, like you said, it's one of those things where it's something that I feel like I have to keep because uh, I didn't get this sent over, but I customized it with my favorite colors, and for that reason, it feels like it's mine because of how much I flipped it, how many tricks I learned with this thing, and the fact that it's green and blue and I customize it that way, just it makes it feel like my personalized bell song that I just not something that I can really just trade easily, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you. There's like that personal connection to it. I mean, that's like my true beaters. Like, I feel like I have to keep those because I've just put so much time into them and they visually hold a lot of that time in them. It's like a piece of art, if
Hmm.
you will. It shows like time. You see those pictures of like people constantly touching like a particular door handle or like pushing on a door and like you see the wear on it. I find those things to be so fascinating because it tells a story without having to say anything. And I think the same can apply for a ballad song.
That's a really cool way to look at it. All right, I do want to try and answer more questions though, because we got like 117 people in chat, and people have just been if they don't get their questions answered, this is something I've learned from streaming. They just scroll. So, either they get their questions answered, they subscribe, they continue to look at your channel, or you accidentally ignore them and they just scroll. So, because most people are seeing this on they're scrolling through reels or shorts, and this live stream will just pop up for them most of the time.
Oh, okay.
So said I need a cracker racking for Christmas. That would be sick, honestly. I'm trying to do a Christmas video here soon, but I've been trying to get my hands on a Nabali's Trident, or possibly I've looked into a Thomas Balisong Refault for a Christmas themed video.
I've heard
Uh,
really good things about the Refault, so I think you would enjoy that one.
The only reason that I think I probably am going to end up doing the Refault is because it's cheaper than the Trident for sure, and it's got G10. They both have G10, but I cannot find a Trident anywhere. So Nabalis has entirely discontinued it. They're entirely sold out on their website. They're entirely sold out on Amazon, on Blade HQ, and there's no secondhand sellers or traders anywheres on Insta or on Reddit.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've heard that they've had some design flaws. It's like an older design from the Bally's, so they get tapped very quickly. I think it was supposed to fill a similar niche as the Nautilus, but just kind of did it with the same issues that the Nautilus, just having excessive tap and such. So I think the reason they discontinued it is because they've just created better designs now.
hmm. I would agree with that, but the thing is, they don't have many G10 balisongs. So the only G10 balisongs that they currently have that I'm aware of is the Vault Pro, which I'm not interested in getting. I'm not interested in any vaults. Uh, and then the bird of prey, which I would totally get a bird of prey, but even then the bird of prey was a limited time production because it was create with the Bally's 2024, so they've been sold out and it's hard to get my hands on one of those too. So overall the Trident was one of the only balisongs that the Bally's has released with G10 or even a lot of G10 on it because of the scales.
They haven't released it yet, but the Crescent or whatever, which was the Create the Bally's one, the new one that's coming out, I think the trainer looks really good, and I believe it's G10 as well.
Oh, I did not know that it was G10. I assumed that it was going to be aluminum handles.
I think it's like aluminum
Huh.
handles with G10 scales.
I didn't even realize that there were scales on it. It looked like a solid design,
I
not
mean,
scales.
take it with a grain of salt. I could just be blind.
Hmm. I could be easily wrong with that too, because when I went in and voted for it and stuff, I was really rooting for the flare to win.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the look of the flare, but I didn't pay that close attention to the crescent.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, what are these other questions we should answer?
All right. Not piece of crap battle song. Dippin' Boy. I never said that the Volt Pro was a piece of crap battle song. I just said it's not a battle song that I am interested in getting. Let's see here. Reptiles are the best. Said, yo, I love battle songs. Hey, thank you. That's awesome. Lisby said, are they real blades? No. All these that you see here, both for me and for this guy over here, PEZ Flips. We are currently only flipping battle song trainers here on YouTube. So, which means these are all perfectly safe, just for flipping purposes, practicing, having fun with. All right. Someone said, what was your first battle song? PEZ, what was your first battle song?
Well, like I said, if you're counting like the very first battle song that I had, it was like some cheap Chinese crap, a CCC, which was like a fan, like a comb battle song with like fake ivory inserts or something. That one broke almost instantly. And then I had a Baron Sons trainer, and that also broke almost instantly. And then I stopped flipping for years of my life. And it wasn't until like, what is that? A little bit after like 20, I don't know, 3 years ago that I realized that, oh, I'm an adult and I can do what I want to do. So I was like, I'll just try it. Why not? And it so happened to coincide with kind of like this big boom of this hobby again. And
Cool.
yeah, so when that happened, what was my first knife? I don't even remember. It might have been the squid trainer, honestly. I think maybe it was the Orion. Gosh, you're asking this hard question because I haven't even thought about it. It's been so long. I know that one of the first titanium knife that I had was the one tsunami. I think it's on my YouTube channel. If I went back to the very last like YouTube video, the earliest YouTube video I made, I think I have a collection video that talks about my new knives. Oh, it was the Volp. The Volp was the first one that I got. I got that on Christmas.
Hmm. Cool. Yo, we got Adrian Perez in here. Do you know him?
Uh
Do
Adrian
you
Perez. I don't know. Maybe.
you guys have the
Not
same like last name, so I wasn't sure.
Dude. Perez is like the Spanish last name equivalent to Smith. It's like a lot of people
Oh.
have Perez as their last name.
Uh mm, all right, Spark said, I love Pez's energy so much. This stream's been such a vibe for real. Honestly, you don't find that many content creators that have a good amount of energy. So I would say me, Ghost, Brandon Balisong flipping, and then honestly now Pez too, are all some YouTubers that have that good amount of energy. Even somebody recently that I shouted out, he's a new upcoming Balisong YouTuber. With he just passed 100 subs. Youngblood Flips has a good amount of energy also.
I was looking at I don't know if you've looked at it yet, but the voting for the Balisong Awards.
Ooh,
Uh
yes, yes, sir.
and I have seen a short of them before, but their name is ridiculous. Poop Flips.
I
I could.
honestly, I don't. I feel really bad about this because I'm a Christian. I don't want to covet and or boast, but I was pretty disappointed when I got on and saw the nominations for Rising Star, and it wasn't the fact that I wasn't on there. That wasn't it. I saw somebody with the name Poop Flips before I was on there, and that kind of made me like, come on, like there's
Yeah,
somebody
talk
with
about
the
a
name of
crappy
Poop
situation.
Flips. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was like, maybe my viewers just don't care about Valley Awards and nominating, but like somebody named Poop Flips as a rising star before me being on there, it made me a little bit on edge there. I was like, come on, man. And it's cool though. I'm fine with it, but still. Oh,
Yeah.
Silas says, I remember Ghost Stream. Someone said, I'm gonna get everyone. Ooh. Oh yeah. Speaking of ghosts, are you a fan of ghost flipping?
Well, I haven't really watched a lot of their videos. I thought they retired or like pseudo retired, right? Because they're going on a mission trip or something.
Yes, Ghost is currently on a mission trip, so he hasn't been posting for the past few months. Before he actually won, the reason I brought him up is because he won Rising Star for the Valley Wars last year because he went just from streaming basically like I've been doing. He went from a few hundred subs. I've watched him when he was under 500 subs. He went from a few hundred subs to over 30,000 subs within less than a year. And so before he went on his business trip, he actually made a video shouting out my channel and all about my channel, and since then, crazy enough, this basically the same thing that happened to him happened to me. He got his channel shouted out by Brandon Balisong Flipping, and then since then he blew up. So after he shouted me out, literally after that video, I went from 200 subs to over 20,000 subs in 2 months. It
That's
was
pretty.
insane.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. It's funny how fast things can move sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is streams. That is the biggest thing that gets you the most views in this hobby is streams. I find that people love ballad song streams. Videos that there some videos can be the best videos ever. Like you can spend hours of work making them the most entertaining video ever, and nobody will click on it because nobody knows about the hobby. So I find that live streaming is the way to go. So, for example, most ballad song YouTubers, besides a few like Artsy and Will Hirsch, most of them, such as you, Ethan, Blade, Camaro EE, Den, a bunch of others, don't get that many subscribers because of just doing videos and shorts. Even Benjamin and the Buffness and a bunch of really good ballad song YouTubers that I love watching all have less than 20,000 subs basically, because they don't do much. They post shorts and videos. And in my opinion, streaming is the biggest thing that the people tend to like in this hobby.
Yeah, I obviously there is a statistical merit to the argument that you're making, and I it's an interesting topic because what you hear a lot of YouTubers say is that subscribers are in some capacity in regards to the context of views on YouTube videos sort of irrelevant because of how the algorithm works now. It doesn't really it doesn't like take into effect like your subscribers. So it's like I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if like the pursuit of having subscribers is too much of a I don't think materialistic is the right word, but like I'm putting my energy into like this place that I shouldn't because I feel like a lot of people, and this is not me saying you, but a lot of people get absorbed in this idea of number go up, and then like the enjoyment of making the videos in the first place can feel like it like sucks the joy out, because you're doing it
Oh
for
yeah.
subs or whatever. And I try to tread very carefully. And I made a video a long time ago talking about how like my purpose for this channel, for my channel, is to just make videos for me. Like I make them because I enjoy talking about stuff and I like engaging with people in my comment section. And like if it happens to be a smaller community because of that, like I think that there is something special in that because I do have a curated viewer base that they are willing to watch me sit down and flip and ramble about stuff.
Oh, I entirely agree. If you get to the point where your channel is more about views than it is about you truly enjoying content creation and video production and making the videos that you are making, there's not much point in your channel at that point. So I entirely agree. A lot of people get caught up in views, and it begins to feel more of a job and a career than it does a fun thing and a hobby. So if it gets to the point where it feels more like work than it does fun, then I feel like at that point it's then you've made it more about views than you have uh, about the hobby that you are in. So for me, I love, love, love content creation. I love filming videos and editing videos and everything through and throughout with this hobby. Uh, but I entirely agree with you about not making it all about views.
Yeah, and I think that there's arguments to be made about, the stream allows you to reach out to more people, you're broadening the horizons of the hobby, and you are, to some extent increasing the likelihood that more people would see your videos. So I'm not saying that this live streaming is like a negative thing. It's just two different strokes for two different folks.
Yes, yes, I entirely agree. So it's some people's cup of tea, some people's not.
Yeah.
So, like for example, Trenton Bailey's now in the chat. You heard me talking about him a bit. He he's not a huge streaming fan. He's done it now and then with me, and it's fun when we do it. But for me, I love streaming. It's a really fun thing for me. For him, it's not as of a crazy ooh this is fun type thing. As far as I know. Okay, Check said, "What's the difference between a butterfly knife and a balisong?" Literally no difference. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Pez. I think people started calling balisongs is the actual name of these balisong trainers. People started calling them butterfly knives because Benchmade had the butterfly logo. I'm fairly certain that's why.
Yep, because balisong is from the Philippines, and it was used as a fish filleting knife. It was not meant to be swung around like crazy, and even like when it was kind of created in the punk rock era with the American companies such as Benchmade, was made mostly as an EDC, and it just so happened that people discovered that you could do some crazy stuff with it, and then it had a similar reputation as like other EDCs, which created a controversy around it. And I think people like when they hear butterfly knife, they're like, "Whoa, like this is like pretty intense." But in reality, it's like when you say balisong, it feels a little bit more uh, refined, maybe because it is at the end of the day, like you're saying, a fidget toy, and that's what it's
Yeah.
turned into. Is that there are certain rules that you follow, basically being like safe side of this guy good, bad side of this guy bad. And that's basically it. You have this general rule, and then you just have to abide to that rule, and you just kind of make it look flashy. And I feel like I don't know, creativity comes through confinement. So like through certain restrictions, creativity is kind of born. And in this case, a lot of creative tricks are born because you're trying to avoid that bite side right there.
All right. For a name said these have been called butterfly knives way before Benchmade was a company. Really, I was not aware of that. Let's see. Someone said, Samuel, should I start recording my flipping? Matorial. I hope I said your name correctly. Like me and Pez were just talking about, I think it's entirely up to you. If it's fun to you, I would say definitely yes. Try it. Try recording your flipping and posting it. See if you enjoy it. No matter how many views you get, whether you get a few million views or a few hundred views, I would consider trying it for sure. And if it's something that's fun to you, if you enjoy doing it, then I would say yes. Start posting videos, making content. If it's a fun thing for you, if it feels like work, if it's not really something that you're into, then no, there's no reason to. All
Yeah, I
right.
feel like there is value to recording it because then you can progress. You can track your progress. You have like older clips and you can see how, you know, you've been doing good at certain things. And also, when you're doing it in the moment, you don't realize that you might be making a mistake, and then being able to look back at your footage after the fact, be like, oh. maybe I can change this, and that might help you get out of a rut in terms of being stuck with a particular trick that you've been working on.
Hmm. I would agree with that. Yeah. All right. Dippin' Boy said, "Can you shout out my channel? Shout out Dippin' Boy 11." All right. See ya, Kyle. Dippin' Boy says he's trying to start making content. All right. Trenton says, "Question, Pez. What's a good way to get into a Pinky chaplain? I love tech and Pinky stuff. And I don't know a good way to do that. Yeah, Trenton's the guy I told you earlier that has basically mix his flipping styles and mix between Mystic and Banks. So the fact that he's taking advice from you is awesome."
Let's go. My favorite to get into a pinky chop is from the bite handle, just doing like a thumb rollover, like a reverse thumb rollover, because then you can get ready for the pinky on that one. So like that. But I like reverse chaplains more. Let's see. If I was gonna do like another chaplain, like you can do like on the safe handle, index rollover, like a whip rollover, and then into the pinky chap. I feel like that one's pretty easy. Um, so that's like the two ways mostly that I get into it. Also, the other one is the aerial, the chaplain. Like if I can actually hit it, that is. But that is like a very common one for me too, which is just a timing thing. Honestly, once you figure out the timing of an aerial to chaplain, you can do it on every single finger. It's not. It's like one of those that's easily transferable to the other digits.
Hmm. Cool. I've not been doing that many peeking chaplains, so I can't really say much on it. Yo, what's up, Benjamin Flips? Good to have you in here. Benjamin said, "Hey guys, just popping in. Have to go now. Just want to say hi." Yo, see you, Benjamin. Thanks for popping in. All
He's a
right,
cool guy. I've talked to him
Jax.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, Benjamin is awesome, dude. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I nominated him for, I think, both for Rising Star and definitely Creator of the Year. He has grinded out some stuff,
Oh yeah.
honestly. So the fact that both you and him are nominees, it's going to be a tough decision for a lot of people voting, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel like if you're nominated, that like speaks to the influence that you might have in the community. And I feel like I'm surprised that I was nominated, to be honest, but I'm just very honored to be on the list in general.
yes, and I heard that you were also nominated last year for Creator or Rising Star, I think.
Yeah, and then Ghost Flips had that super big pop off, so credit to
Yes,
him.
Ghost was awesome. All right, Jackson Max said, "Yo, Balisong Traveler, I'm back from earlier. I'm still looking for more of an expensive ballad song." All right. For expensive ballad songs, we actually have Pez here, so he would be a good person to ask about that. For me personally, I'd recommend the Superfly if you would even consider it expensive, about I think $240.
Uh, okay, yeah, I want to know what his price range is.
Yeah. What do you consider expensive? There's different budgets and price ranges.
Also, I will caution you that there is not really that big of a difference in terms of how it actually flips. If you have something in like the $100 range, that's probably going to flip very similar to something that's in the 300, 400, $500 range. Like you aren't getting that much benefit to the performance side of it. And I think that oftentimes as like, consumer people, we think that, oh, expensive equal better, but that's actually really not the case. You can get really cheap balisongs that will flip just the same, if not better, than expensive knives.
Hmm. Ooh, speaking of expensive ballad songs, this is something that I've asked the past few people that I've done collabs with lately, and I want to ask you too. What are your thoughts on the Machine Wise Seraph? Do you think that Blade Bias and Will Hirsch glorify it too much, or do you think that it's a valid best ballad song opinion?
Well, let me tell you something, dude. I have never even tried it. So you're asking the wrong guy.
Dang.
But here's what I'll
I
say. I'm a certified, well, not really. I just don't really like long balisongs that much because I often find that they get like caught in my wrist and stuff. Like they'll hit my arm and whatever. And I find that a lot of balisongs are made to this standardized length, which is a shorter profile. And moving to that longer profile, it feels a lot more effortful, a lot harder to just get through a flip. So, like a longer flipping session, my hands feel more tired. I can feel more fatigue, and the chances of getting like, I feel like tendonitis and stuff like that are a lot higher when you're doing something that requires a lot more work, which is why I'm a big proponent of lighter balisongs too, because it's more of like a wrist health kind of thing. So, I don't know. I'm
hmm.
sure it has its merits. I've flipped a lot of machine wise stuff so far, but I did not like the Opus that much. It was fun, looked really nice, had a lot of stuff that was good on paper, but it just wasn't really for me. And one of the biggest complaints was that length.
Really, for me, I think length would be a perk. I think it's really about your flipping preferences. People have different preferences. For me, I personally like longer ballad songs way more than I do shorter ballad songs for my flipping preferences because I do a lot of fans, and I think that really makes fans easier, in my opinion. So I think it's all about flipping preferences because again, there's some people that'll like more rounded ballad songs, some people that'll like bulkier ballad songs and squared ballad songs. And for example, like right now, there's some people that'll like shorter ballad songs like you do, and some people that will like longer ballad songs like I do. So I think it's really, really, really about your flipping preferences, which is why most people, when they get into the hobby, I think that's partially why lots of people like to start collecting, because then they get to try a good variety of ballad songs to figure out what's for them.
Yeah, I think it depends on like what you want from the hobby because I think a lot what you see a lot, at least a trend right now, is the shorty kraken, which a lot of very talented flippers have said is an incredible performing knife, and that is a shorter balisong. Granted, not by a ton, but it follows certain principles of having enough end weight because you put the squid trainer weights in there. Um, having a more neutral-ish balance, and yeah, like maybe trending on the shorter side. Now, granted, there are people who flip really good on longer balisongs, but when I look at people who get clips and stuff, truly impressive clips, I don't know if I'm seeing a lot of them on super long balisongs, and I think that's because I believe that a shorter balisong has more agility. It might be a little harder to flip in like a smooth way, but I think that your skill ceiling is a little higher with them because you can do more quicker with them.
Hmm. That's cool. All right. I mean, I can kind of see what you're saying there. For me, especially when it comes to the Kraken, I see a lot of people doing really professional clips with the Kraken. Actually did a collab stream. I think it was last week with a smaller dude. I think he's just on Instagram right now, named Crimson Valleys, and basically uh, he gave me the idea to put pivot screw weights on the end of my Kraken. So I was able to find out that the end weights that go into my Barracuda V2 actually fit perfectly in the end of my Kraken. So if you can see there, I put them in there and I put the end caps over it. And then I also put in all the weighted inserts that I could for my zippy mods. And so this makes for a really good tip weighted balisong, but it also has become a really weird flipper compared to other balisongs.
Yeah, I mean that goes to the modularity aspect of balisongs. I've talked about it in videos about like sometimes I feel like adjustable weight is like kind of like a curse almost because you spend so much time trying to like dial in the weight that you don't spend enough time with one weight configuration to like just learn how that balisong flips with that said configuration.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like honestly at the end of the day we can talk about like this balisong or that balisong being a better flipper. It really is the person who's flipping it that's gonna make the balisong work? So like you can have a really nice balisong but be a poopy flipper and the balisong's not gonna flip itself?
Yeah. Recommend USD cheese. This thing is on sale right now for about 67 US dollars. Might be just a few bucks higher because of tax. Otherwise, the cheese is the best flipper I can recommend to you. If you're looking for something lower though, the Canyon is going to be the best and most durable balisong that I can recommend to you. And the false live variant, I think, is about 45 US dollars, with the trainer variant being about 35 US dollars.
Yeah, I think all those are great options, and I feel like, just pick something, don't worry about price too much, try out the hobby and see if you like it. And then after that, I feel like then you can make more informed decisions. But if you're getting your first balisong, like you don't know if you like it or not. You just got to try it, and I don't think you should get so caught up in like worrying about, oh, is this the best balisong or not? Because you'll find out if you like it through just trying it.
Yeah. I entirely agree, but see, there's contradictions between some of this stuff because Spark earlier was saying that he thinks that you actually it would be better to just start with like a $5 to $10 Amazon ballot song to see if you like the hobby. I disagreed with him for one main reason. I understand not wanting to spend that much hobby on or that much money on a hobby that you may not truly like, but I also think that you should start with at least a decent flipper that's going to give you an overall view of the hobby. That's why I recommend the Impulse, is because it flips a lot like most ballad songs do, unlike this Amazon ballad song here. And I think people should be able to flip a ballad song that's going to give them an average view of the hobby before they decide whether they like the hobby or not.
Yeah, I can see your point. You want something that's like representative of the more typical feeling that you would have from most ballad
Yes.
songs. I can see
Yes,
that point.
because yeah. All right, Bomber said I suck at flipping, but I love it. That's awesome, bro. Hey, I don't worry, bro. I sucked at flipping at first too. You should have seen some of my first clips. I might go back and see if I can find some of my first clips to post on YouTube for you guys, or maybe on Instagram. Because I'm telling you guys, when I started, I sucked. You can ask Trenton. I did not have much of a natural talent for it. I had some, not a crazy amount. It took a lot of practice to be able to advance to where I am now.
Yeah, and
All
I think
right.
there's an important thing to be like, if you say that you suck at ballad songs, you're gonna suck at ballad songs. It's like we are the stories that we tell ourselves. So if you're gonna say that you're bad, like you're not gonna, I don't know, you're not you will more
You're pulling
likely
a
fall
Dar
into
man.
this idea. Yeah, you'll
You're,
turn
you're
into
pulling
that.
a Dar man. Whatever you believe, you can achieve.
Yeah, it's the attitude that really
Yeah.
changes it. You know what I mean? A growth mindset, if you will.
Hmm. All right. Someone said I love that Amazon Bell song. What, the Rainbow one? Hey, if you like it, get it. It is gonna be heavier than most ballad songs and a lot more blade bias than most ballad songs. But if you like the aesthetics of it and you like the cheapness of it, go for it. Let's see. I do. That is why, again, why I like to recommend the impulses, because I'm not saying that people can't start with things besides the impulse or a good ballad song, but I think people should definitely be warned that if you do start with an Amazon ballad song, it's not gonna flip like most ballad songs would. All right. Check said I 3D printed one and love 3D printed ballad songs.
You lagged
Let's
out,
see.
so
Oh yeah, you lagged out just a second ago too. Are we back?
yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Me over there is PEZ FLIPS.
All right.
Uh, Someone said, "How do you record your streams?" I record my streams just with my iPhone, so I have an Apple iPhone 15. I think this might be the 15 Pro. I think it's just the iPhone 15 though. And so I literally this is what I use for my YouTube channel. I use it to edit all my videos, to post my videos, to live stream each day, and everything basically.
Yeah, I feel like
Literally all you,
you
yeah,
like
all
if
you need. My bad.
you don't need a fancy camera to really get into the hobby. Like there are apps on the App Store, for example, that you can like mess around with your shutter speed and stuff to make it look different. Like on YouTube Live, you can't really change your shutter speed or anything like that, so it's gonna look however it's gonna look. But if you like look at like clips of people who flip ballad songs, it might look different, and that's because they're usually changing their shutter speed. That's the thing that they change.
Hmm. Ooh, Anthony Clemens said, "Is the Corvus good for beginners?" I've not flipped the Corvus, but I've
Me
heard
neither.
amazing things.
Me neither.
So
It's a shorter ballad song, so I don't know. Maybe you'll hate it.
I don't know.
but
I don't think I hate shorter ballad songs the way that I hate bulky squared ballad songs. My preferences just typically go for longer ballad songs.
yeah, I'm just messing
Uh,
around. But I hear you.
all right. Scott said Pez is carrying the stream strong with his lag free flipping. Uh, but you flip like I do when you're lagging, bro. Am I lagging for you guys? Because I think for some people it lags more for PEZ, and for some people it lags more for me. That's how it is with most of my collab streams.
I feel like it depends on like what server you're connecting to. Because I'm West Coast, so it's like if
Yeah.
you're just connecting from a West Coast server.
For me, I live here in the Ozarks, here in Missouri. So, oh, that actually does make sense. I didn't think about that. Whatever server you're on probably does make a difference in the same way that it makes a difference on video games.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, someone said I didn't realize how long I've been watching you flip that balisong round. It's almost hypnotizing. Yeah, it can be when you first get into it. That's a really cool reason to get into the hobby is because then you're able to learn all these fancy tricks. And it's even more satisfying in real life, in my opinion.
Yeah, and when you record a clip yourself and you're the one doing it, dude, that's a good feeling.
Oh yeah.
I will say though, there is something to this like magic of balisongs that once you understand it, you sort of lose that sort of that magic to some extent. But that is just an internal call to learn more tricks.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of the hedonic treadmill?
I have not.
So this is like I'm a psychology major, so uh, the hedonic treadmill basically refers to we as humans getting used to things. So when things are novel, they are more exciting, more interesting. You know, they are something that piques our interests, right? And we are going to gain a lot of like gratification from exploring those things. But as you learn them or as you do things, you get more used to them, and then that specialness, that novelty wears off. And then you're left with like the whatever that thing is. It's kind of the same where like somebody can get like a brand new car and it feels really awesome, but then after you have the car for a while, it doesn't feel as awesome because you're just used to it. Like that is your new normal, and the same thing can apply for like balisong flipping, where like you don't know how a trick works. You take the time to learn the trick, and then in some capacity, you get used to that trick. I used to think that the fan itself looked super cool, and I still appreciate the fan, but my mesmerization of it or my opinions of it have just shifted over time. It's not that I hate it. It's not that I'm like, oh, this is so boring, but just that your attitudes towards things as you gain familiarity, they change over time.
Oh, I entirely agree. That's how it is for me with some tricks. Like, so if there's a trick that I find less mesmerizing, there's tricks that I know pretty well, better than other tricks that I've just kind of stopped doing because they lost my interest. For example, the Z choker to open position is a trick that I used to do all the time. And man, when I would flip the cheese, a big trick that I used to do would be the reverse Z choker. That I'd go like into this I guess like infinity into pin spinning terms, I guess. It's just this right here. It looks
Mm.
really weird. Then I've graduated to sort of gradually gotten to where I do it in ladder position. So I go like this and do a helix aerial.
Yeah, I feel like tricks like at that sort of end of the balisong, you don't see them too often. Like in terms of actual flippers, like there are some flippers. There's a guy called Scram FR on Instagram that I watch, and he does a lot of stuff at the very end of the knife, and it looks very cool. I feel like it's just not something that's utilized a lot in the hobby.
Hmm.
It definitely goes flying though when you drop it though at the end like that. I remember like
Ooh.
ladders when I first started felt impossible because the knife would feel like it was about to fall out of your hands because like you just don't have that like finger strength yet to be able to like pinch the knife between the handles between your fingers.
Yes. All right. A lot of people asking about clones. I find clones to be really, really good in my opinion, especially if you're not wanting to spend that much money, but you want something that is going to be just as good as a few $100 song. Then clones are definitely for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd say probably like the Tsunami clone. I mean, like the Bally Plus V4 Tsunami is probably a pretty good titanium clone around the $100 something range.
Yeah, and then also for me, especially like the Arm Shark Nautilus and the B plus, like the Bally plus Kraken and Arm Shark Nautilus are two of the craziest clones that I have flipped.
Somebody earlier asked, "What is a good, easy trick? Like a very, very beginner friendly trick." What do you think would be your?
Definitely 100% it would either be the double rollout or the cuz I've actually had the opportunity. I've brought this cheese to so many places and so many friends asking me uh how to do different tricks and stuff. So one of the biggest ones is the Y2K, in my opinion, is the easiest trick for beginners and is the most basic trick that you would want to learn because it's just a thumb roller into open position and it looks pretty flashy and pretty fun to do.
Yeah, I remember learning the Y2K when I first got started actually. I would probably say like the fan, but the fan can be a little tricky to like get immediately, but it is like a very safe trick because if you're holding it on the safe handle, you will never be able to do anything wrong. You know, you can like flip it around like crazy and everything will be fine. So if you're just like practicing that Y motion when you get this to that T or whatever or the Y, just getting to there to get your fan is like I'd say
Mm.
my choice.
I've been so surprised also, not only fans, but chaplains. As soon as I started the hobby, chaplains were like the easiest thing for me. I just could easily just spin it around my finger. And there's so many people that struggle so much with chaplains. And it's really surprising me to see so many beginners struggle with chaplains because that's something that I just did like instantly without even knowing really how to do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like chaplains are one of those things that are that also is more balisong dependent. Like handle bias knives are gonna hold chaplains pretty well. I think blade bias knives will slip out a little bit. And like this squid trainer, for example, this is where I try to learn chaplains, and the squid trainer actually sucks at chaplains. So like I remember trying to learn on this guy and just going like super big circles, you know? And I think part of it is because there's a certain like level of trust because like it's the same thing with aerials where you just have to trust it and hope it works. And then once you trust it and like get that experience and of it actually working enough, then you get it. It's just like one of those tricks that's harder to learn if you don't get it instantly. Like I feel like you're just pretty lucky that you got it instantly, you know?
Yeah. It's the same way with. I'm not sure how much experience you've had with nunchucks, but I've done martial arts, traditional Okinawan karate, for about 4 to 5 years now. And when I was doing kobudo, because I was really grinding out kobudo for a while, which is just the Japanese word for weapons class. So first of all, these are all trainers. I'm not talking about these, of course, for viewers watching, but for example, bow staff, nunchuck, kama, tonfa. Nunchucks is something that I got down really quickly, and that, in my opinion, for a while, and even now, it's something that I would say I'm definitely better at than balisongs, that I might even enjoy more than balisongs. Uh, and I got down to the what they call the figure eight motion really, really quickly. It was a really simple one for me, but there's so many people who I senpai'd with and was able to help teach them. Because I got to a pretty high ranking in karate, and so there's so many people that I helped out with and just saw running katas with that we had to go so slowly on because there's so many people that it took them so long to learn how to do the simple figure eight. There's some people that can do it instantly better than most black belts, and there's some people who it takes like 2 to 3 weeks to learn how to do. So again, it really depends on the person. Not only with balisong flipping, but with most skill toys in general.
Yeah, you know, everyone just has like a certain bias towards what tricks come more naturally to them.
Yes, 100%.
Someone asked what our he said, I've asked I don't know how many times what our first ballad song was, which we answered previously, but I know what my answer is now, which is the Volp.
My first good bell song would be The Canyon, but technically I started with like a really bad looking Lego bell song that looks something like this. Not that good looking like most of my newer ones, but I started off with a base Lego Balisong design that looks something like this. Since then, it's been taken apart and put back together like a quadrillion times. But started with a Lego Balisong because my friend was into it, thought it looked cool. So I built one and learned actually the thumb rollover and most of my base tricks with it. Then I bought some Amazon combs. These combs right here, actually, I swapped the blades on them, so it was black on black and silver on silver. I got it for like $20 off of Amazon. Then I finally advanced to the canyon, and since the canyon, I've learned so many tricks. The canyon was technically my first, but my second battle song after the canyon was the Barracuda V2, and that is the first video that I posted with on my channel was a review of my Barracuda V2. All
There you
right.
go.
Oh, Spark has a question for you. Spark is a crazy awesome YouTuber, by the way. He got basically my dream collection. Spark said, Yopez, have you ever owned anything from Jimpy Designs before, or would you like to own anything from Jimpy Designs?
Uh, the answer to that is yes for both of them. I love the look of their knives. I actually have a video if you want to watch it. I have a video on the Sentinel with the Bowie blade, which I thought actually flipped really good. However, it was very handle biased and it needed speed channels, which I never ended up getting because I didn't find somebody who offered the service. I do know that Alejandro Brandstrom or whatever on Instagram does speed channeling mods now, and he actually did mod his own Sentinel with the speed channel. So if you're ever curious in getting one of those, I think that it'll flip great if it gets speed channeled. But the other thing I'd look for is probably the machine, which is spelled all funky by Jimpy. I'd probably get one of those, or he has like the mini Sentinels, which are like just super tiny, and I've never flipped like a truly mini balisong. I kind of want to get one of them. I know Arm Shark for a while made the teeny tiny ones, and I never ended up trying those, but I feel like they would be just like funny and fun to try out. You just got a machine trainer? Ooh. See, they look pretty good. The one thing with the Sentinel was that it felt spongy. Like the Zen pins felt dead almost, and that was part of the reason that I got rid of mine.
All right, sorry about that. I am back. I had to go do something. All right. I am gonna have to start wrapping up stream here. Unfortunately, I try to average. I didn't tell you this, like I should have. I try to average my streams for about an hour, and so I just realized the time. It's been way more than an hour, so I do definitely need to start wrapping up stream. We could probably take one more question and then wrap it up.
All right.
What does speed channels do to battle songs? By the way, Samuel, your camera just cut out, but you're back. Yep. Speed channels. Uh, I personally like speed channels. I've not had much experience with them though.
Yeah, so I mean, I can show you a lineup right here. These are two technically squid ballets. This one is not speed channeled. You don't see it cut out here. This one is speed channeled. Ultimately, you're cutting out the weight here. You're removing material, which will bring the balance away from being held in the handles and into this part of the balisong. So there's different balances. People prefer different balances. And some people, such as myself, enjoy a more neutral balance, meaning that the handles are a similar weight to the top of the balisong there. So I prefer speed channels. They also sometimes have like a ringing effect because they sort of act like a tuning fork, similar to actually how this trainer blade looks. So that's basically the long short of it. They lightened up the balisong, they changed the balance, and they changed the sound.
All right. I love to see all the new people in here. Beans, thank you for being my 100th like. What's up, Alec? What's up, Mason? I am gonna have to wrap up stream. So, if there's anything that you would like that you wanted to chat with me out or wanted to ask me specifically before we end stream?
Uh, hmm. What's your opinion on a LaCroix?
What's a Lacroix?
You don't know what a LaCroix this thing.
Oh, nah, no, I'm not that big on energy drinks or any drinks
It's a
like that.
seltzer water. It's
Never
just
heard of
bubbly
it,
water.
honestly.
Wow, this guy's
I'm not.
never heard of seltzer water.
I mean, it's probably see. There's different types of things, different parts of America. So here in the Ozarks, we don't have much stuff like that. Big thing here in the Ozarks is I forget what it's called. It's like bubble pop or something like that. Some sort of like energy type soda drink thingy. It really sucks in my opinion. I've tried it. I'm more of a soda icy guy.
Okay, well
So
that
I
answers my question.
love Coca-Cola ices, bro. There's nothing better than a good Coca-Cola icy
What about the blue
from
raspberry
the
one?
gas station. Blue raspberry is so mid. I feel like
Whoa,
it's really overrated in my opinion.
that's crazy, man. Blue raspberry for the win. That's my take.
It's good, but here's the thing. Here's what makes it really good. Have you ever tried mixing a Mountain Dew icy with blue raspberry? It is the best.
Interesting. I
It
have not. Now I kind
it
of want to.
tastes exactly like a Baja Blast freeze from Taco Bell. That's literally what it is.
Okay. Hey, well, since we're wrapping up, I just wanted to say thanks for inviting me on, and thank you for the viewers who tuned in and asked some questions. My channel is at PEZ FLIPS. It's a picture of Sparks. If you wanted to stop on by there, I try to reply to my comments if I have something of value to say. So, thanks for having me on.
All right. Ashley says, Samuel, you've made your weapons idol. The devil has you, Samuel. Turn away from your sin. Repent. Jesus is the way. Ashley, I get you've not seen most of my lives. That's very not true. I try and put God first and honor Him in all that I do. I don't talk about Christianity and biblical topics as much in collab streams because it typically makes the other person uncomfortable if they do not have the same beliefs as me. Then it typically makes the other person uncomfortable. And I like to stick to talking about balisong topics when in collab streams. But if you check out any of my other streams, you will find me talking a lot about biblical topics and biblical debates. Uh, so yeah, I find that comment very, very untrue. I do appreciate your concern though, and I like that you're trying to spread truth. All right, Spark says, I hope Pez does streams himself. That'd be super cool. That would be sick, Pez.
Yeah, this was actually a lot more enjoyable than I realized it would be. So, stay tuned. There might be a stream.
I would totally be in on that for sure. Could be your first mod.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what's Pez's channel? Isn't it like at Pez_flips?
Yeah, it's just PEZ flips, I think. I don't think there's anything like too fancy about it. I don't know. Can I chat in here? I don't know if I can like message myself, but it's
Mm.
PEZ flips. That's it.
Uh,
PEZ FLIPS.
After stream, when we're fixing to end, you can go and comment on the stream, and people will be able to go to your channel.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Pez, for being on here. We still are going. I like to end every stream with scripture, so I typically just end with my personal favorite Bible verse, Proverbs 9:10, which says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Unless you have a different Bible verse in mind that you'd like to end with, I think we can wrap it up here.
I'd say let's end on that one.
All right. Thank you so much, Pez, for being on here. And thank you so much, guys, for all your questions. This has been one of the most enjoyable streams that I've done in a while. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.
All right, bye bye.